Hey, so I'm sitting out in a garden so that I can get the most out of Mother Nature and relax my brain. Because I am in a rush to get things done, so I always go out in nature when I find myself putting pressure on myself to do a whole bunch of things. So I told you yesterday that I was reading Gary Keller's The One Thing, and I found the guy who did the Shopify products. His name is Scott Hilsey, and I read a portion of the book, just a couple of pages, and it released my memory, because I do remember some of these things. I even wrote down notes, whereas yesterday I had no recollection whatsoever. So I just wanted to read literally one sentence, which is a question. And it's actually the gist of the whole book. It says, what's the one thing you can do this week such that by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary? So the project I'm working on now is like the sequel to the one I worked on before. And I actually forgot this because this was 2019, but what I didn't realize was that I was reading this book when I was working on the first part of the project I'm working on. And so it feels to me like that's kind of like a message from myself, the universe. I don't want to say God necessarily, because it's kind of self-focused, so I don't know if it works out its purpose, but yeah, it just feels like coming back to something after you've left it for a while and not realizing the similarity and the events that unfold that lead you back to that thing. It feels symbolic, and it also feels indicative of maybe something that when you're drawn to it so effortlessly, it could lead you on the path to something maybe you could be doing for long term. So who knows, maybe this will be the one thing I end up focusing on, or maybe it will lead me to something else. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you, just to kind of give you a sense of some of the things that condition my mind before I work on things. Because when I get into things so soon, my brain goes in full speed ahead, and I'm not as thorough as I would be. So that's why I like to kind of share things like my exercise routine, my morning routine, just temperamental things that I do to slow my brain down. Because in my experience, I find that the less I trust my brain and the more I put pressure on myself to produce, then it kind of feels like my brain steps back and says, fine, take the reins. But when I'm more intentional and more gentle about the way I approach things, then I'm opening up the way for sort of like my intuition, so to speak, or for good things to come to me that would naturally be attracted to me, if that makes sense. So anyway, just sharing that. Have a great morning yourselves, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. Have a good day, morning, afternoon. Just have a good one. All right, see you soon.